This way, idiot.
This way to Clementi, you idiot. You always get too crazy when you drink a lot. Well, whenever you can find cheapest happy hour for you, right?
Oh, you.
Okay, this way.
Thanks.
Hey, Wash, where are you putting your stuff, man? You are making the mess of the room.
You mind your own business, or I'll make a mess out of you.
Hey, what are you doing, James? You are going to get me hurt.
Shut up.
What should we do?
Things trouble like that. If I don't stop that, it will wake up the whole block.
Right.
Oh, those guys, don't worry about them. They're always fighting about something. They'll be over soon.
Then we have no worry about it.
Oh, really?
This seems to have been a premeditated murder. The estimated time of death is between 10 and 11 p.m.
No way, how can this happen?
Hey you can't be here, it's a crime scene.
I think I can be of some help. I was walking by last night and I saw him in this room. I even heard him and another man argue.
Hey Captain, seems like what the guy said was correct. A neighbor in the apartment above heard a fight between our victim and someone else. Did they say anything about that person? I'll go ask right away. Even though you have passed by last night, there was no way you could have stopped it from happening.
Damn it! I did not bid for the guy who walked by yesterday. We won't have been able to stop this from happening.
Detective, please help me. My name is James, and I studied with Su Pang at Singapore Polytechnic.
You're the one killing Chubang, is it?
No way, even though the police thought it was me, I didn't do it. I wasn't even at home last night, I promise, it's the truth.
But wait, we heard you arguing with the victim last night. How do you explain that?
That was recorded on CD, it wasn't actually me. He recorded it to appear that I was in the apartment with him.
You only did it to make a scene?
After he closed the curtains, he played the recording.
He was making it up? All up?
Yeah, however, I don't have an alibi to prove this.
No alibi? So why would he do this?
So I could hide and spy on our other friend Mark, and wait for our chance to kill him.
What?
You see, he was stealing our ideas. Su Pang and I had a great idea to start a new online social networking site called Scrapbook, and he was going to use it to gain popularity with the girls and for money. We knew he was doing it, but because he was more popular than us, we could do nothing about it. People would never believe us. So, we decided to murder him and make it look like a burglary. But we couldn't end up doing it because when I went to his room, he wasn't there. I waited for a long time, but he never showed up. I arrived at his place at 10 p.m., but gave up and returned to my place at 11 p.m.
If what you say is true, then it's possible you did the crime.
Yesterday was my turn to stalk his room, but apparently he was eating in the arts canteen.
That's strange.
I don't know why Mark would say he would be in his room studying when he really wasn't. I heard from police that when you walked by when he was killed. That's why I'm appealing to you for help. I know you're known on campus for being a good detective.
I don't know. It seems all very strange to me.
I knew you wouldn't believe me when I told you, but I'm sure if we found the CD, you'd believe me.
Do the CD even exist?
I couldn't find it back in the apartment, so maybe the murderer took it with him. If we can't find the CD, then I'll be ruined. The murderer must have dumped it by now.
Do you think we should look for the CD now? Because if we solve this before the police does, maybe you can get promoted to type A room.
Type A room?
Right.
Let's go look for the tape.
Okay.
Alright everyone, let's start by searching around the apartment, entrance and exit. The murderer would have tried to get rid of the CD as soon as possible. Okay, everyone now let's go towards the Clementi stop. He would most likely to have gone to this direction.
Hey, look, there's a tracker.
Hey, wait! Aha, I found it. Is it the CD?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the exact CD.
Oh, we should call police and have them look it in too.
Hey, Wash, where are you putting your stuff, man? You are making the mess of the room.
You mind your own business, or I'll make a mess out of you.
Hey, what are you doing, James? You are going to get me hurt.
That sounds like the same voice from last night, right?
Yes, it does.
So that settles it?
This could prove that James is actually telling the truth.
I finally found someone who believes me. But why would Mark lie about being in this room when he was actually not? That bastard. I wouldn't have been suspected in the first place. But why would he want that?
It's possible that he may be the real culprit.
Are you suggesting that Mark knew of our plan the whole time? That perhaps he knew we would wait for him in his room? Is it possible that he was in fact spying on us?
Perhaps, maybe he was eavesdropping. Maybe that was it. We have to go back to that room to check for a device then. The tracking device was traced back to a computer in the business school library that was frequently logged on to by Mark's metric ID card, which confirmed your story. It's quite believable that he was stealing your work and claiming them as his own for fame and money. So he was then scared that you find out and take revenge on him, which motivated him to listen in on your room.
How would he have planted the recording device?
Once a month, the cleaning ladies come into my room. It'd be quite easy for Mark to sneak into my room during this time and pretend to be me. That is how I think he must have done it.
That's right. He had been listening for a while and discovered your plan to kill him. As a result, he used your own plan against you and created an alibi. So last night, while the victim and you were executing the plan, Mark broke in and killed him. After that, he must have took the CD. And that way, when the body was found, you would be the first person suspected. This must have been his plan all along.
He used our own plan against us.
What if?
The truth is,
It
you
don't
never
make
expected
sense.
to run into the great crimes of a detective.
You know, there's nothing to laugh about, right? If you had listened to my advice last night, the murder would have never happened in the first place.
I heard last night that you were walking by an apartment and that you ran into a man with a hat outside.
You're right. If you never show up, this will never happen. Well then, let's go pay the police a visit and explain to them the whole story.
Wait. I think it's better we call police so that can come to us. That way, there's no chance of us running into Mark on the way there. In the meantime, I have to go do something.
So you are saying that this was a premeditated murder, right? And that he has an alibi. Great deduction, detective.
Of course! It's to be expected.
James, you suspect the real culprit might be Mark, correct?
No, you don't understand. My hate towards Mark has nothing to do with this.
Well, we will check on that. Please get the arrest warrant for Mark's arrest.
Oh, wait a minute, officers. I think I know who the killer is.
What?
I will explain that to you. James' story is but a mere lie. In other words, there are two people who lie. However, the CD remains an unchangeable fact. While James was making the plan to frame his enemy, Mark, he made a big mistake.
So you're trying to say that all his previous statement was meant to mislead us?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Also, regarding the CD, what James was doing was just leading us to find the CD in the trash on purpose, right? Also, he was the one who suggested the possibility of Mark's guilt.
Why would Mark lie about being in this room when he was actually not? That bastard. I wouldn't have been suspected in the first place.
As well, he stressed that Mark may have been eavesdropping on his private conversations with Su Peng.
Are you suggesting that Mark knew of our plan the whole time? That perhaps he knew we would wait for him in his room? Is it possible that he was in fact spying on us?
But this was in fact impossible because it is a commonly known fact that NUS library computers are programmed for book searches only. He wanted to lead us into finding evidence proving his innocence while also placing Mark at the scene of the crime. The fact is, these deductions only came from one person and one person only. Needless to say, the actual killer entered the victim's apartment and stabbed him while he was carrying out his act. It's you, James!
Huh?
The actual killer lived in the same apartment as the victim. Eavesdropping was not necessary. All you had to do was place a wireless recorder in the room and access the wireless transmitter from a convenient computer in the library. I found it strange that when we found the tape, if it was really thrown in the garbage after the murder, there would have been no way to find the tape where we did. This is because the garbage cans at NUS are cleared out every morning. The truth is, the tape wasn't there to begin with. You must have thrown it away right before we found it. If not, there was no way we could have found it. Isn't that right, James?
No, you make yourself sound crazy.
Huh, it isn't crazy. I'm sorry, James, but I have a witness. Well then, let's describe who was playing detective according to his plan. If he didn't have someone to have him play detective, he couldn't complete his scheme, which is why he came to the film detective. However, he could not leave things to chance. That's why he thought of a way to set up his entire plan.
How?
He placed a flyer on the detective's floor with an ad for happy hour drink special between 8 and 10.
Ah, he knew detective couldn't resist such an offer.
Correct. So in doing so, he makes sure that I would pass the apartment at the right time, according to his timing. The victim looked through the window and acted out his part, not knowing that he would get killed.
So why did you bring this lady in as a witness?
I'm getting there. When someone placed that ad on the detective's floor yesterday, this lady saw who those were. Excuse me, cleaning lady, is this the man who placed the ad on the detective's room door yesterday?
Yes, that's him. Yesterday when I was cleaning the hallway, I saw him stick the flyer onto your door. Then I can identify the flyer when I see it again.
Of course, the flyer will be examined, and I'm sure we will find your fingerprints on it. It is likely that the pup sent it to me because it was only stuck on his door and none of the neighbors.
That's quite right. But what led you to suspect me?
It's worse because of what you say.
I heard last night that you were walking by an apartment and that you ran into a man with a hat outside.
Even though we mentioned to the police that I saw a gentleman on the night of the murder, we not disclosed that he was wearing a dark cap. You couldn't have known that unless you were at the crime scene. If the detective had tried to stop that fight, your plan would have been ruined. To prevent this, you intervened to make sure your imaginary fight would not be ruined. You were the guy with the passport cap.
You guys are right. Zupang was actually getting in my way and I wanted to take all the credit and all the money. And I tried to frame my friend Mark, but now it's me who loses.